Hey guys, Pedro here to do an album review. Today I'm here to talk to you guys about the brand new record from Swallow the Sun, When a Shadow is Forced into the Light, out right now on Century Media Records. This album has 8 tracks and it's 52 minutes in length. I really feel this record, the way it's constructed, the way it's built, the way it's put together, the way the songs are put together, the way the lyrics are put together, it really impacts different listeners in different ways. When you have an album that has this much pain, this much suffering behind it, this much love behind it, it's really going to impact different people in different ways, because you're going to bring your own personal experiences to the table. You have your own baggage, you have your own personal thoughts, feelings, experiences that you've gone through, and all of these things put together will allow you to have a different listening experience as far as this record is concerned. I don't think there's going to be two people having exactly the same experience listening to this record. We're all different individuals, and the way this album is put together, the way the content is presented to the listener, it really plays out to have a record that's going to be very unique depending on who's listening to it. Everybody's going to take something different from it. Everybody's going to connect with something else. Some people will connect more with the record, some people will connect less, and that all has to do with your own personal experience, not really necessarily with the work that was put together on this record. At least that's how I felt. I felt that way because the moment I started listening to the record, I had mixed emotions about it. At the beginning, the first couple of times I went through the record, I felt that perhaps the record at certain points felt repetitive and redundant. It felt like it wasn't really adding anything new. And then the more I listened to it, the more I realized that perhaps that was not the case. Perhaps this album just speaks to me at certain levels, but not at certain other levels, because I haven't gone through those experiences. I haven't experienced certain loss in my life, and I don't have the necessary tools to really connect to certain songs. So I connect to some, but I wasn't able to connect to all of them. And I think that's not a reflection on the record. Perhaps that's a reflection on my own personal experiences. Having said that, the more I listened to the record, the more I dove into the record, the more I was engulfed by it, the more I was absorbed by it, the more I felt like I was walking through a lonely, lonely desert with pain and suffering as my luggage, as my 2 suitcases that I carried through that lonely, lonely desert. This album really grabs you and it gives you a sense of comfort in discomfort. It's really weird to put it into words. It's really strange how they were able to create a record like this, but this album to me does one thing, and does one thing extremely well, is able to grab emotions, feelings, state of mind, and transform all of those into music. It's like they were a processor, they were a machine, where on one side they fed the machine with all of these feelings, and on the other end, music was the outcome. From that perspective, the album is extremely rich. And I really felt that while, like I said, I didn't connect with certain songs, with certain other songs, I really connected well. So that allowed me to stay connected with the overall record, that allowed me to continue to listen to the record and try to find where things have gone missing. Why wasn't I connected with every track? And the more I dove deeper into it, the more I started to feel a sense of understanding of what the record was really about, what the whole point of this record was. And this record was really to showcase or to, like I said from the beginning, to really grab these emotions and transform them into music. And then it's up to us to really process that on our own and see how we are able to connect to it. I enjoyed a lot of elements about this record, and there are a lot of cool components within the record. So even at the first couple of listens, when I didn't feel a really deep connection with the record, it was not until perhaps spin 4, spin 5, where I start to better understand what the record was about and what better way I could enjoy it. Like how could I help myself enjoy this record more? It was not until then that I started really to paying attention to some of the details, because in the beginning I was really lost within the record. I really felt lost in the desert of pain and suffering, where at some point in time that pain and suffering was really real to me, and at some points I just didn't feel like I was really there. I felt like my body was there, but my mind was not there. So it took me a long time to really start to understand the more finer details of the songs and of the record, and then really be able to understand and be able to take full enjoyment of the record. There are so many cool components in this album. There are so many things that really elevate this record. to make it a really well played, well produced, well put together album. Now, a couple of elements that really spoke to me, not necessarily at the first couple of spins, like I said, but towards the middle part of me listening to this record multiple times. A couple of things that really spoke to me was the symphonic elements. I really enjoyed those symphonic elements. In the beginning, I almost didn't notice them as much as I started noticing them more times I went through the tracks. And I really liked them because the symphonic elements on the record really add darkness. It add a feeling of despair, a feeling of pain and suffering, but at the same time adds beauty to the music. It really adds melody to the music. It adds an absolute beautiful undercoat of melody that is just beautiful, and it just almost eases your pain through each single track. I really like those symphonic elements. I really like how they incorporated them into their music without really making them really predominant. They never allow them to be the main focus of any of the songs. They never allow them to be on the forefront of any of the songs to the point where they just take hold of the song and they don't let go. No, they use them in a very smart and intelligent way to create an atmosphere, to create a tone, to create a sense of peace and love, and at the same time pain and despair. So they were created really to set a tone and to set an atmosphere more than anything, and I really like that. Another element that I have to mention on this record that really became more noticeable to me with every single time that I went through the album was how they used the vocals. We all know that there's clean vocals, there's harsh vocals, but if you're really paying attention to the album and if you're really breaking down each single song, they did a lot more than just use clean vocals and harsh vocals. And some of the tracks, the vocal delivery was almost used as another instrument, as it should be. It was used to give emphasis to the song, to give pain to the song, to give clarity to the song, to give a sense of hope to the song. So they really used harsh and clean vocals in order to give life to the lyrics of each specific song, and in that way was really well done because it almost felt like a conversation. It didn't feel like a song at points. The songs felt like a dialogue in some cases. Another item that I have to mention as far as the vocals are concerned is how they layered them. There was a lot of layering of vocals on this record. They used cleans with cleans to give it more layers, more volume, more pungence, if you will, to the tracks. They use cleans with harsh, where the singer is singing in clean vocals and there's a harsh vocals behind it in the undertone of the song. They did harsh with harsh in terms of having different types of melody with a harsh vocal, so you have one track layered on top of the other. All of this does is it just really creates volume in the tracks. It creates layers within the track, but at the same time, it gives more meaning to the words on the lyrics. It really emphasizes how powerful the lyrics are. It really brings the poetry to life. You know, you almost feel like you're there. You feel like there's different people around you when you're listening to the tracks. You feel like there's a sense of not a choir, but there's a sense of multiple voices coming at you from different angles because of the way they layer those vocals. I really enjoyed that, and that was something that almost went unnoticed to me in the first couple of times listening to the record. It was not until later on that I started really appreciating and really enjoying it, and also understanding what was doing it to each song, how much life was giving to the song, how much pain was giving to the song, and how much care also gave to the song. Because this is an album that really it really juggles pain and love. If there's an album right now on the market right now that juggles pain and love, this is it. This album really juggles those two feelings. Those two feelings that are opposite, but at the same time are so interconnected. You cannot have pain without love, and there's no real love without the sense of loss. So those two feelings are so well interconnected, and they're so well interconnected on this record. Now, as far as songs are concerned, I really want to talk about 3 songs that spoke to me, perhaps more than any others on the album. I'm going to start with Stone Wings. Beautiful melody intro. It's absolutely, the melody at the start of this song is absolutely incredible. It's matched by the beautiful vocals. The two kind of set the tone to the song. The melody is really kept throughout the whole song, sometimes in the background. and sometimes coming a little bit more to the forefront once the vocals drop out. So there's a really cool dynamic where you have this beautiful melody in the background when the vocalist is singing, and then when he drops out, that melody comes into the forefront. They almost alternate each other. This song also has a very pungent chorus, a very strong and powerful chorus, and it's absolutely drenched in pain. You could feel the pain just drenching from the vocal delivery in the chorus of Stone Wings. I absolutely love this song. It has such a cool dynamic in how they use that melody to go in and out of the song depending on when the vocal tracks were laid. I really like that dynamic. To me, that was really key in order to constructing a song like this. Another song I want to mention to you guys is Here on the Black Earth. Another beautiful song with a nice little build up, and you know aggression is coming around the corner. The song starts really mellow, but you know it's just a matter of time before aggression kicks in, and it kicks in, and it transports pain in the harsh vocals of this song. This song has two feelings: emptiness in the clean vocals and pain in the harsh vocals. This, what it does is it creates a song that has an inner struggle, that feels like there's a conflict within. And that conflict comes out in these two separate occasions, and it's two feelings that are perhaps connected as well. But there are two very, very distinct feelings, and they come out in the clean vocals and in the harsh vocals. I really like that. The song always feels like it's building towards something. It always feels like it has a crescendo to it that is going towards an erupting point, if you will. And then there's a part with clean vocals towards the end of the song that almost very reminiscing of David Bowie. I really like what they did there, because the tone and the clean vocals and that part of the song, it was kind of Bowie-esque, for lack of a better term. It had a little bit of David Bowie in it, and what that did to the track at that specific time, it gave the track a little bit of an out-of-the-body experience. It gave the track a feeling of sci-fi. It gave the track a little bit of a feel of a sci-fi just for that specific moment, and then it went back to that same emptiness and pain. So I like how they did that. I like how they incorporated almost that hope, that light at the end of the tunnel, just to go back to darkness once again. I really like how this song was put together, and I really like that middle end bridge there. With the vocals sounding a lot like David Bowie. I just really love that. It just gave the song such an aroma. It gave the song such life. I really enjoyed that. Last but not least, my favorite song on the album, Upon the Water. I absolutely love this song. To me, this is perhaps the best track on the record. I just like the melody that it has. I like how haunting the guitar melody is on this song. I like how it merges with the clean vocals, how it builds towards a much heavier riff and much heavier vocals in the pre-choruses, in the chorus. I also, this is another song that if you're really paying attention, you can see that layering of the vocal tracks on this record, with harsh and clean coming together when he's singing in clean vocals with a little bit of harsh vocals in the background with backtracks there. I really enjoyed that. To me, this is a song that perhaps encapsulates this record the best. If you're looking at one song to really describe the whole record in terms of what you're going to get from a vocal delivery, from a vocal perspective, from a guitar perspective, from a sound perspective, and even from a lyrical perspective, this perhaps is the song that encapsulates the whole album the best. My favorite song on the album, a song that gives me absolute goosebumps every time I hear it. It's just drenched in emotion from beginning to end. This is it. This is Swallow the Sun, When a Shadow is Forced into the Light. The album is out right now. I want to hear your thoughts on the band, on the album, favorite songs. What do you think of the record? Let me know in the comment section. I'll be reading those and getting back to you. Take care, guys.